Hi, I'm Jeanette Larsen with Growth Unlimited, and tonight we're going to be talking about defining yourself. Who are you as a person? You know, as I work with people, I see this come up over and over and over, and in my own life, I'm seeing it happen. I think one of the reasons it's happening now a little more often maybe than it has been in the past is all of us have been put through extremely difficult circumstances over the last several months, and most of us are recognizing that life probably will never go back to being the way it was again. That puts us in a position where we need to redefine who we are and how we're going to go forward. It's part of taking control of your life, and it's part of living your life your way. So in this series of videos, we're going to be talking about the different aspects of defining who you are, talking about how different people do it, and how might be the best way and the most productive way to make that difference in your life. I'm also going to share with you what I am doing to take control of my life using redefining myself. And I've got a hair attached to the microphone there. It was acting kind of funny. Anyway, let's talk a minute about secrets that you can use to discover your true self. You know, when you're looking at who you are, and especially when you're redefining part of what goes on for you, it's really, really important that you take a look at three main things. Those things are, first of all, knowing who you are and what you really want. Secondly, you need to take responsibility for the choices that you're making and be willing to do what's necessary to make them happen. And third, you have to take action. This is no longer a time where we can sit back and wait for things to happen or just try to deal with things on the fly. You have to do something, you have to focus on it, and it is something you have to involve yourself in getting done. Otherwise, nothing's ever going to happen. Nothing's ever going to change, and you're going to go on in the same kind of doldrums or drudgery that you're finding your life in right now. So, in terms of knowing who you are and what you want, define your values, and some of those may need to be redefined. As things change in our lives, as circumstances change, as situations around us change, oftentimes the way we feel about things and the way we believe we need to address things also changes. Changing the values and beliefs that you have, as long as they don't violate anything very, very sacred to you or very, very important to you, is a totally all right thing to do. And we have to live in the situation that we are in. And as I said, as long as you're not violating anything that's very, very basic to who you are, changing a value or changing a belief or changing a behavior is something that can be done. Secondly, you need to create a plan. You probably have heard me say that a lot, because basically everything in life, if you plan it out, is easier to achieve. The only time you run into problems in life is if you don't have a plan and you just try to handle things as they come up. That is also a plan. It's just not a very good one. And you're going to find things are far more productive, and you're going to be able to have the control that you want of your life by planning it ahead, deciding what you're going to do, how you're going to go about making it happen, and then working to achieve those goals. Finally, as you are looking at who you are and what you want, avoid the self-criticism that so many of us get caught up in. This is a tough time, and it's perfectly okay that you're having a hard time with it. The only time it will turn into a problem is if you choose not to engage, if you try to hide from it or try to avoid dealing with the situation at hand. And so don't be hard on yourself if you are struggling. Accept that. Give yourself credit for the work that you are doing, and mark the progress that you're making. Just continue to make progress. Okay, in terms of taking responsibility, there are 3 things that you need to be aware of there too. First of all, as you're making plans, base those plans on what you can do to improve yourself, not on what you want to do to improve other people. Here again, this is something we've talked about before. You have no control over anyone else. The only person that you really have any influence on that has any real merit is yourself. And you can change your situation by changing you. Change how you handle when other people do things that are not comfortable for you. Change your judgment level. Allow other people to have the responsibility for what they do. Don't take it on for them. Change your desire to fix things for everybody else. This is no time to be a people pleaser. This is no time to take control of somebody else or try to take control of somebody else. You'll only result in failure. If a change needs to be made, look at what you need to do to make that change, not what you can elicit getting somebody else to do. Okay, and then hold the expectations that you have only for yourself. Many times people that, in fact, I had a situation just this week with a friend who had certain expectations about something. She'd set some boundaries that she felt she needed to set in the relationship that she had with me. But with those boundaries, she also had expectations that I would continue to do things that were not workable for me, given the boundaries she had set, if I were to honor those boundaries. And she became upset and disturbed when I didn't engage the way she thought that I ought to. You only have control of yourself. You do not have control over what somebody else does. And so when you have expectations of what you expect from other people, as long as, and it's an expectation that actually controls them, then it's out of your hands. It's out of your control. The only change, once again, that you have the power to make is a change in yourself. And you have to take the responsibility for that change and the fallout that occurs with it. Just as in the situation with my friend, it was perfectly okay that she set the boundaries that she set. She needed to do that for her own well-being. However, it was frustrating for me, and it was frustrating for her when she felt that the boundaries she set were okay, but she didn't take into account that there might be changes that I would need to make based on the boundaries that she made too. And so each of us, in trying to change ourselves, created a situation where she felt she wanted me to change, to continue doing things that she wanted to continue, while she wanted me to stop doing things that she didn't want me to do. And it was frustrating to her to realize that she didn't have that control. And so it is, be aware of that and be willing to take the responsibility that goes with the choices that you make on your own. And then be accountable. If you have decided to make a change with yourself and you've taken the responsibility for doing it, follow up with yourself and make sure that the change that you said you wanted to make is being made. That's how you progress. That's how you move forward. Okay, in the third choice that we talked about, taking action, set goals and make these goals that are achievable. I use the SMARTER goal system when I'm setting goals for myself, because those goals allow me to make sure that my goals are specific, they're measurable so I can be accountable, they are achievable, they are goals that can be done, they're realistic, they're goals that I am willing to do, because sometimes we set goals for ourselves that we're just really not willing to do. They're time constrained, so here again, that's an accountability piece. I know I have a time limit in which to complete the goal. And the goal, or it's also let's see, I'm thinking what the E stands for. The goal can be done, and there is a method that is being used that is planned for that goal to be done. I can't remember what the word is off the top of my head. And then the R in SMARTER stands for reward. I always set a reward for myself that I will give to myself when I achieve that goal, because sometimes goals are really hard to achieve. Sometimes goals are very difficult, they're time consuming, and they sometimes involve some pain in the process of learning how to do what it is that you're doing to achieve that goal. And so I find that rewarding myself when I have achieved completing the process and I have done that goal is a great way to reinforce the work that I put in. Okay, now, if you use these three things in terms of defining yourself, you're going to find that you are going to move forward in that new definition you create of yourself. And I invite you to try it. As you're looking at what you need to do to define yourself so that you know how to move forward in your life as we move further into the new normal that we are facing, take a look. Experiment a little bit and share with me the things that you are doing and the things, and you can share now the things that you would like to do that you're going to be using these 3 steps to put together. Let me know how you feel about the process of redefining yourself. And if you liked this video and found it helpful, please subscribe and share it with your friends. If you'd like more information about how you can take control of your life, visit us at www.growthunlimited.org and check out what we're offering at this point in time. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.